every member from this beautiful country, welcome Dr. S. Jaishankar from the bottom of our hearts. Please join me in welcoming him to Nigeria with a big round of applause.
As graciously willing to share with us.
My senior colleague, Secretary Damu Ravi, High Commissioner Balasubramaniam ji, Consul General Chandramouli ji, my brothers and sisters living in Nigeria, and distinguished guests who happen like me to have come from India. Namaskar to all of you, a very good evening. Normally, when I have a chance to interact with our community, I say two things, I discuss two things. I tell them, I've been here on a visit, these are the things that I did, so that they also have a good sense what is happening in the relationship. But today you are at the beginning of my visit, so I can't do that. I can speak to you about the relationship, how well it is doing, how much all of you have done for it. So, first of all, I would like to begin by thanking you. But the second thing I do is I tell them, last time I was here, from then this much has changed. Now, the problem was, it's my first visit. And I was very amazed today to learn from the High Commissioner that this was the first visit by a foreign minister. So I must say it has taken me some time, but I will try to make up for it in many ways. So I asked myself, okay, since I can't say how my visit went, I can't say what has changed since my last visit, what should I say which will be of most interest to all of you? Now, I think you all know for many years I was myself a diplomat. I served in 8 countries. And in 41 years that I spent in diplomacy, about 27, 28 years I spent abroad. Now, why I am saying this to you is, I know what it is like to live abroad and keep thinking about my country. And that is the connection, that is the common point with all of you today that I would like to speak about. And I know that every Indian who lives abroad, whatever their passport, however long they have lived abroad, one part of them is always in India. One part of them is always thinking about India, following India, worrying about India, happy about India. And so I thought, today let me just share a few thoughts, because I don't want to give you a lecture. I want this to be a conversation, because when there is a conversation, I also...
Next question, please, because we will take 3 questions in the first round. Yeah, Mr. Kailash.
Good evening, sir. Welcome to Nigeria. My question is, reflecting on India's foreign policy evolution, is it evident that distinct era exists pre-2014 and post-2014? From your extensive experience, could you highlight key differences between these 2 periods? Thank you.
Yeah, Anuj.
Hello. A very good evening, sir. So you just mentioned about technology and especially the online payment system. And we all agree and we all know it's the best. And India has made a tremendous growth and perhaps we are number 1 in the world. So I would like to know how is Nigeria adopting to it, and what would be the Indian stake in the progress of Nigeria when it comes to this online payment and gateway systems? Thank you.
Let me respond to these three questions, and I can take another round.
Sure, sir.
And I noted what you said about the strong turnout. So I want to say I will be taking a picture from here, which I will show to all the other ministers in India, and I'm sure it will enthuse them to come and vote. India-Nigeria cooperation. You know, right now we do about $12 to $15 billion worth of business. Roughly half our exports are imports. But I feel today there are many more possibilities. There are many more possibilities because actually Indian capabilities in many areas are growing in very, very strongly. I would say, for example, we've had a long record in pharmaceuticals. But today India, for example, has become a big producer of medical devices, which was not the case earlier. There would be like this, I can pretty much in any area give you examples of things India is making today which it was not making 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Not just making it, but actually making it very, very competitively. And the result of that, if you see, our export figures are actually every year going up at a time when the global economy is actually struggling. So, I feel most of all that, the backbone of any relationship is economic, is business. That the more we are able to do business with Nigeria, the better. But there are many things that we can share from our experiences. We see today Indian universities make big advances in education. Indian hospitals are growing. There are on the digital side, I spoke about this whole digital infrastructure that we have built up. So even drones. So I would say, even to our Nigerian partners, my request to them would be, please come to India. Please see the changes in India, because often in people's mind, what was the picture 10 years ago, 5 years ago, last time they came, is the fixed picture in their minds. But I would certainly encourage all of you in different ways. I tell the community whenever I'm there that Prime Minister Modi always has one message to the community, which is, please ask your local friends, take some local friends with you next time you go to India. Encourage them to go to India. By doing that, you will actually make a very, very big difference to the relationship. The question, what has changed in Indian foreign policy in the last decade? I think a lot of things have changed. But it is actually the underpinning it, the self-confidence and the I would say a sense of what we are, which has changed. So I give you two different type of examples. We joined about 5 years ago a group called the Quad. So this is India, America, Japan, Australia. We had the same thing was attempted 10 years before that. But then somebody got a little bit angry. So everybody reversed it. I think जो मुझे समझ में आया, आप कह रहे थे आगे opportunities for teaching in India. Am I correct? Sorry. No. Look, there are different schemes in India. In fact, I go back to the observation about brain drain. We have tried to find ways by which people living abroad in different ways can contribute to what is happening. Even we have schemes by which teachers can take time off and come and teach in India. So, certainly, when we look today on the academic side, there's a new education policy. When you look on the research side, they've created a National Research Foundation. Lot of these changes you will see unfold in the coming years, but we would very much like to use the talent abroad. I mean, which I think is your key question. How to use the talent abroad for the growth of India. आपका जो सवाल जो था ग्लोबल टेररिज्म, ग्लोबल वार्मिंग पे, the global terrorism is one of the very big problems which keeps surfacing in some form or the other. And in fact, the gentleman who asked me there, what is one of the big changes in the last 10 years? One of the big changes is we have been very, very uncompromising by terrorism. We have made it very clear. And it's very, you can all see the difference today. You saw how we reacted after Mumbai, you saw how we reacted after, Pulwama and Uri. And it is, the message is very, very clear. On global warming, today many of the, I would say, most effective ideas actually are coming out of India, in many cases directly out of the Prime Minister. The idea of, say, solar alliance, how to build disaster relief, how to create a grid around the world, how to grow crops which are more green and less water consuming. So we have from a country which was seen like a climate laggard, सबसे पीछे थे, today we are seen as a climate leader in many ways. And in fact, even this whole idea that every individual can contribute to their own personal lifestyle, what we call mission life. Then on the pharma export section. See, there is a very interesting problem with pharma. I'm again using COVID as an example. During COVID, we came under tremendous pressure from developed countries, especially Europe, to some degree America, but others also, saying please export medicines because they are unique. Okay. Same countries, once COVID is over, subject the same medicine to a lot of regulatory stank. So at times of distress, you suddenly wake up saying, okay, Indian medicines are great. Then moment of crisis passes, you can see. So why am I saying this? Because in a way, those are I would say competition or other forces which happen. Where we are concerned, I think it's important in pharma, like any industry, that we should have a good regulation, we should have a good reputation, that if people feel, okay, Indian health or reliable, that is what countries try to do.